Hey guys, Kylie Feller here again. So I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what a secure attachment is. So in my previous video, I kind of mentioned what attachment theory is, how it's formed, the different styles. So a secure attachment, and we really all possess some of this. It's within all of us. It's really being able to recognize what a secure attachment is and how we can work to align ourselves with that way of seeing the world, relating to ourselves and to other people. So with the secure attachment as a child, you have come to really trust your parents, that they're there to meet your needs, that the world is safe, you have a secure base. And what they found in this research is that when you have that secure base, you are actually more independent. Lots of people don't think that, but it's actually true. So you're more likely to kind of go out into the world. It's a bit of a paradox, right? So healthy dependence equals more independence. So people with a secure attachment are very comfortable with intimacy, with closeness, with being vulnerable, with being loving, meeting their partner's needs. They're very open and honest. And there's a couple different things that, and this is kind of coming from that book Attached, if you're more curious, I'll link it in here. To people with that secure attachment, they're often very reliable, they're consistent, they're trustworthy. They don't dodge or obsess about intimacy, just kind of they let it naturally kind of unfold, where that's really a trigger for the avoidant or anxious. Things are very much revolving around that intimacy, either feeling like you don't get enough or trying to avoid it. People with a secure attachment don't worry about the relationship ending. They feel secure in it. They're not, sometimes with that anxious attachment really thinking about it's going to stop or it's going to end. And so also with avoidance, they also too may be thinking about the relationship, obsessing about it. Is this the right person? People with avoidance often think that this isn't the one for them. So another part of secure attachment is that ability to communicate and to respond to our partner's needs in a healthy way. So it is really when you see something, maybe somebody said something that hurts you, you have no problem kind of calling them out on it, not in a defensive way, but really just checking in, communicating when things aren't working. You can talk about it without the fear that the relationship's going to end if you start to voice your needs or communicate. There isn't that deep fear of rejection that is often found in more insecure kind of attachment styles. Somebody with a secure attachment is great at resolving conflict. They don't hold grudges. They're not super defensive. They're not working to punish. Arguments often don't escalate. They have mental flexibility, so things aren't just black and white. There is a lot more gray, right? They can see that bigger perspective, and to stay in that bigger perspective, you really have to have a really kind of healthy connection to yourself and your body, right? With the anxious, if they're trying to communicate, have a difficult conversation, you'll often get hijacked by that fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, things become very black and white. When you think the relationship may end, if you voice your needs, if you be vulnerable, right, they might just leave you. Those are common with anxious. So with the secure, because they feel secure in the relationship, they don't think it's going to end, they have this wider perspective. They're able to see things better because they're not so hijacked by this system that's built-in threat. So yeah, they can just naturally communicate well. They don't play games. They can kind of say what's going on. There isn't kind of any kind of manipulation or trying to control or change. None of that. And they're comfortable with both physical and emotional closeness. They can easily forgive and move on. And they're more likely to see, when it comes to like sex, there's the emotional and physical intimacy as one, right? As those are very intimate things, both emotional vulnerability and then the sexual side of things. They also are more likely to treat their partners really well and take some responsibility for their partner's well-being, so they can take in consideration of how their behavior is going to affect their partner, and work around that, really taking that bit of that responsibility on it and caring about their partner. And that's something that's just really nice to be able to offer to somebody, right? Their presence, that I'm thinking about you, that I care about you. They want you to do well. So very supportive, celebrating each other's successes. Yeah, and that can be, that's great when you have a partner that is cheering you on. You want that, and unfortunately that's not found in a lot of relationships, especially when there's the insecure attachment, right? If my partner grows too much, maybe they'll outgrow me. There's all those fears sometimes, hijacked, keeping your partner small, controlled, all those kind of things. With the secure, you don't have that. They're very just open. There isn't that need to control or contain or to own. So those are some kind of things that you can kind of see. And I think in all of us, we all have this secure, right? We have this want to trust, this want to support, but it gets so buried in the other thoughts when we have this other attachment stuff going on. So I think once you can really recognize what secure attachment is, it's really trusting the world. Trust is a choice, right? Aligning yourself more with these thoughts than the other thoughts, right? To become more mindful about what our beliefs are, where we're coming from, how we're interacting, how we're communicating. And you can start to integrate these beliefs, these thoughts, these ways of being in the world to help create an earned secure attachment. So with conscious effort, you can start to rewire your attachment style. We are all meant to be secure. We want to be secure. It's really about offering ourselves this space so that we can come back into alignment, right? So being really gentle and compassionate with ourselves, starting to become curious about some of our thought patterns, our beliefs, catching ourselves when we might get hijacked by this fear of rejection, this fear of not being able to communicate, right? And instead, leaping into this vulnerability of being open. And the more you do that, I think the more you'll realize how open people are to that. And if they're not, then it really shows you right away that this person isn't for me, right? So the more you recognize these attachments, the more you can kind of communicate quickly, move through that fear of rejection, the more you'll strengthen this secure attachment, and the more you're going to weed people out of your life that aren't supposed to be there, right? And we don't have to move people out of our lives from anger or anything like that. We can just let them go with love. And when you start to see these systems, you can start to have another language to talk to your partners, about your friends, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is just kind of starting to recognize what the secure attachment looks like and how you can start to align yourself more with it.